Hi everyone, it is Monday, November 7th. Um, as I put in the email I send out every night to the members, is you see what I'm going to be out the next two, not next 2 weeks, but next week, part of next week, and the part of the following week after Thanksgiving. Um, I like what's going on here. We got a low and a run up. So if this is the bottom, that's a lower low or a higher low. We don't have to go straight above this one 437 431.73. If we look on the weekly, we just have to make our way back up there. I like to see higher lows all the way up. That doesn't appear that that's going to happen. We just have to make our way back up there. Simple as that. Let's go back to this weekly. You see how we keep running down, reverting above the 21. That wasn't above, but this one was. That's the first step. So we tried to get there last couple of weeks, couldn't make it. But as long as this keeps running up, we're going to be okay with that. But like I said before, yesterday and other times, the only trading you can not the only most of the trading you got to focus on right now is going with the flow of the market. And like I said, there's a catalyst tomorrow. I don't know how big of a catalyst it will be with the midterm elections and what will be decided, but the elections usually have some kind of factor in what the markets do, especially if there's a change in who's the majority in certain areas. So we'll see what happens there. But like I said, it's tough to do unless a lot of these stocks are just going with the flow. Like I said, I don't mind what the SPY's doing on the daily. Qs look pretty much the same, except they came down and tested that low. They were getting precariously close to getting out of whack for us. IWM still nicely moving upwards. Apple, even though it had some negative news out today about disruptions at their one of their plants or wherever they're making the iPhones, that still managed to get up about almost 0.4%. But again, that's definitely not out of the woods. That's not a higher high. That's not going with the markets, but there's a lot of news there. So beware of that one. So that would be one along with Amazon that's not going with the flow. They're doing their own thing. Right now it doesn't look too hot. Like I said, Amazon down at about 85 is where we see the next level of support. Tesla I saw was red today as well. If it stays below this 200 level, we're looking at the fib retracement to the downside to about 161. I got 160.93 there. And like I said, Google, I'll have to look at the daily, see if it's going with the flow, but it got pretty close to that 1618 on the weekly to the downside. Yeah, it's actually doing a little bit. It's going with the market a little bit here. I said financials, banks in particular, were staying relatively strong, and they were green today, along with a lot of the other parts of the market. But we've got to see Bank of America over that 37 level and hold it pretty good. Wells Fargo, again, holding above that 46, but not a good candle today if you're trying to trade it today. But if you got a good, decent entry, you got to stop at about 46 or so, maybe a little bit lower. Like I said, Crocs looked like we were in a short squeeze yesterday. That really came to a screeching halt. But again, if you're trying to enter a trade on the bullish side, and you see this kind of intraday action, you're looking to enter today, you're not going to get excited about doing that entry because we didn't even show any positive action on that intraday chart. So maybe that short squeeze a little bit over. But we'll see what happens. Maybe the bears are trying to take control. Chesapeake, again, break and a hold over 105.55 brings in 110.55. That's been consolidating pretty well. We talked about squeeze the other day. This has been in a squeeze for, looks like 4, 8, like 10 or a little bit over 10 days. Again, last time it was in a squeeze, it fired to the short side. But this fires to the upside, and earnings are out of the way. That could make a run. Like I said, in any of these, even in those squeezes, since you don't know when it's going to fire, go ahead and give yourself time. Give yourself a 70 delta, or at least something a little bit inside the money instead of, again, in the way this is going, instead of going a little bit out of the money. But it is a squeeze, so you could do, get in real quick like we used to with our breakouts, or like we do with our breakouts. McDonald's on this week still extended away from the ADMA on the weekly, but continuing to make the move higher. Again, riding, like I said yesterday, riding right up that 8 EMA on the daily. Let's see what was hot today. I'm all the way at the bottom. So what was weak? Neo, Crocs, which were hot the other day. Tesla. I'm not seeing any real theme here in what was